So, the 7th episode of WandaVision just came out, and you might be wondering why I didn't review the 6th episode last week. And the real answer for that is I just didn't really feel like I had enough to say about that episode to make a whole video on it, especially since I was already doing a Man of Steel review at the time. But thankfully, I don't have much to say about the 7th episode either, so putting them together, I have enough to make one full video. So starting with the 6th episode, really like the Malcolm in the Middle style of things because that's a show I was very fond of watching in the past. And unlike a lot of the other shows, like from past decades, I've seen most of that show. Really was intrigued about what was going on with Quicksilver, whether this was the MCU Quicksilver or whether it was the Fox X-Men Quicksilver or was just some imposter. Cool to see Vision try to leave the Hex, even though I was a bit surprised that he didn't just immediately turn into a corpse and drop down dead. But it was still kind of cool to see him get ripped apart, and the moment where Wanda just increases the boundary of the Hex and encompasses a lot of sword and turns it into a circus, which, kind of shows what she thinks of them. I also really love seeing Wanda in her classic costume, because I always wanted something a bit more similar to the costume. Not that she had to wear the leotard or anything like that. I just wanted her to have something to resemble the headpiece. They could have done an updated version of that with her kind of red trench coat thing she usually goes with. Now, when it came to the 7th episode, I appreciated some of the nods to The Office and other modern TV shows that they've been parodying with the fake documentary style. Definitely found it pretty funny seeing Vision and other characters give the gem face. And it was also cool to see how Wanda's emotional state is kind of on the fritz, because now she's losing control of her powers and different objects are changing into different decade forms. We get the stuff with Monica where she tries to cross into the Hex and she actually gets powers, which I don't know if this is the way the show is going to explain mutants in the MCU, because that kind of limits them. You can't do, Professor X and Magneto, they've been around for, decades, because, mutants would have been too new of a thing. But I think this is a decent origin that they can give to Monica for how she becomes her character in the comics. I think this is the best of any origin they can give her for how she becomes Photon. Face it, the main thing that actually happened in this episode is the big reveal that Catherine Hahn's character Agnes is Agatha Harkness, a character I've been hearing people theorize that she's been for a while, and the show finally confirms it. And I kind of was with that she was that character, because there was just so much evidence pointing to it, her not being identified as a actual resident of Westview, or her wearing the witch costume in the last episode. But I did not think others that she was actually the villain and that she was the one kind of behind everything. I kind of thought maybe, because as far as I know, I'm not super familiar with the character, Agatha Harkness is kind of a mentor character to Scarlet Witch. So I thought maybe because Scarlet Witch is going to tie into Doctor Strange too, maybe he sent her in to get Wanda, but the Hex kind of messed with her and she's just kind of been stuck there this whole time. And maybe when this was all over, she'd finally get connect her and Doctor Strange and help lead into Doctor Strange 2. But overall, I'm kind of mixed on my feelings about her being the villain, because I was kind of really interested in this idea that Wanda had gone completely off the rails and was going to becoming the de facto villain of this show. So I think it's kind of less interesting just having, an evil witch made her do it. I'm just hoping that Wanda at least had some agency in what she's doing. She hasn't just been completely mind controlled to do it by Agnes, which I think is what they're going, that she's kind of just been manipulating Wanda this whole time. And Wanda is still somewhat responsible for all this, because Wanda is aware what she's doing is wrong and kind of selfish. She just doesn't care, and maybe Agnes has kind of been goading her on to thinking, oh yeah, this is right, I am doing the right thing, and also doing that through Pietro, or who I guess isn't really Pietro, but just something that she constructed. Or did she pull him from another reality? Because the commercial of this episode is an antidepressant called Nexus, and Nexus in the comics is kind of the gateway between different realities. So I'm kind of wondering where that's gonna go. I'm not sure how I feel about the delivery of the reveal, because it's kind of goofy. Now, to be fair, a lot of the show is under like the goofy guise of a sitcom, but at the same time, for when they need to have a serious moment, they kind of drop that. Like when Wanda switches to her regular personality, like to kind of deal with things that the show feels needs to be taken more seriously. So I feel like maybe if that was their intention, maybe they should have done that for this. If not, worried that Agatha is maybe too silly of a villain for me to take all that seriously as a threat, because they have that whole song number about how she's the one behind everything. And it is comical to an effect, especially how they end it with her saying, "Oh yeah, and I killed this dog too." But I'm just wondering, like, is she gonna keep that up for the rest of the show? Because if you're gonna make her the big villain, I have to take her seriously somewhat. But overall, I'm still interested in where the show is going, even though I'm hoping more stuff actually begins to like happen in the next couple episodes. So that way I have actual more stuff to talk about to make single episode reviews. But let me know what you thought of this episode of WandaVision below, and I'll see you guys next week. Okay, well, it seems like nothing happened. Danny's not gonna come and do anything rash. So, well, everyone make sure to like, share...
What's up, bitch?
What the fuck, Danny? How did you get in here?
I have my ways, Toma, and now you're gonna pay the price for fucking me over. You hear this? It's what I used to blast bitches like you.
Well, no, Danny, you don't want to do anything rash here. You can have your own job back. I'll give you a raise.
We both know you can't afford that, you dumb bitch. Now you're gonna pay the price for fucking with DeVito.
No, please, Danny. You don't need to do anything this rash.
Oh, I'm aware of that, Toma, and I'm going to make sure to enjoy every second of it.
No, Danny, please don't.